Hello again, fight fans. I am Jason Burgos for Sherdog.com, and with me is a man I think it's safe to say is the best submission fighter in Bellator MMA history. I mean, stats are stats, right, people? He returns to the cage on December 10th at Bellator 254 after an 11-month hiatus, and I know I missed him. I hope you all missed him too, because that man is the one and only neck collector himself. Goiti Yamauchi, Mr. Collector, sir, thank you for the time to talk your long-awaited return to action finally.
Thank you so much, my brother. It's a pleasure to talk to you and all the Sherdog community.
In
So
our last
let's have a talk.
conversation last December, we talked about you returning to your nation of birth in Japan for your last fight, and you would get to visit some relatives you haven't seen in a while, including like the uncle who was like a big help financially and stuff like that with when you started in martial arts and training and those kind of things. How was that reunion with your relatives you haven't seen in a bit, and were there any real big standout moments, big moments that you'll remember for a long time?
Well, one of the best moments in my life,
Wow.
no doubt about it. It was it was magic.
Oh,
Not
all
just
right.
the fight, the training camp. Let me tell you, the fight camp for that fight was one of the toughest that I did
Yeah. Wow.
in my entire life because I got sick. I got really sick. I couldn't make the weight because I was fucked up.
Yeah. I remember
And
you being sick, yeah.
yeah, I was really sick. Yeah, but I don't know what happened, but I don't know what I thought that you know it was a really strong cold. I thought it was a cold, but I think it was something even stronger than just a cold. So
Do you think it
I
could have been
it,
COVID? Maybe even back all the way then?
maybe I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
I thought about it, but after the fight I was still sick,
Wow.
so it was really strong. But that this situation that made that experience magic because I could overcome all my difficulties, the being sick,
Mhm.
being not just sick. I was like I was weird. I was weak. I
Mm.
couldn't I couldn't train.
Wow.
I couldn't train that week. I couldn't feel motivated to cut weight, to fight. I was really really I was weak.
Wow.
So being there, fighting in front of my people in Japan, um, hanging out with my family after the fight, winning. The fight was actually easy.
Yeah.
I hadn't been touched. I was after the fight, no injuries, no nothing. Um, I didn't hurt my opponent, so it was a really good fight. But the magic thing about this experience was the difficult to be ready. The preparation of the for this fight, it was a short notice fight,
hmm
so I was really hard. But at the end of the day, we could make a good job and win the fight and see my all my people, all my crowd, all my family. Was really magic. I love it.
Now, we also talked about, and I was listening to our last interview earlier this morning, that you joked a bit in that it's pretty obvious, as you said, that you're a Japanese guy based on how you look. You look like a Japanese guy and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
I would imagine has to be interesting in a place like Brazil, where I would guess there aren't many people that look Asian and stuff like that. What was it
Yeah.
like growing up as a kid? Clearly from an Asian heritage in Brazil. Was it tough at times? Was there discrimination you maybe dealt on some level? Or is there maybe a pretty solid Asian community in Brazil maybe people really don't realize?
Yeah. Not much. There's not much. There's like in any place in the world, there's Asians. There's black people, white people, yellow people, any kind of races. But here it was. I can tell it was tough because it's tough for every kind of race in the world. So it was just I'm not gonna tell that I came here, then everybody started respecting me all of a sudden.
Mm.
No, it was very hard in the beginning,
Mm.
especially because I couldn't speak the language.
Ah, yeah.
So and I was a kid, so people used to bully me just a little bit, not much. But after that, I just have to thank for all the experience. I got really stronger after the all the difficulties, not just this specific situation, but in all difficulties through my life. It was, just to make me stronger.
Mm.
I love all the tough experience that I had because they made what I am today.
Very true, very true. So for this fight coming up on the 6th, you will get PFL NCES veteran Nate Andrews. Very solid fighter, all around, well-rounded kind of fighter. He has a bunch of subs on his record, but he's shown that he's a solid stand-up guy, sound stand-up skills and stuff like that. From your point of view, are there things he brings that makes him different at all than anyone you faced before? Are there aspects of his skill set that you look forward to maybe being challenged by, or is his skills pretty similar to what stuff you've dealt with before? And as long as you kind of did the things you did before against similar people, you should be fine.
Well, I think there's no surprise for me.
Mm.
He's a solid fighter, like you said. All respect for my opponent,
Mm.
Nate the Snake,
Yep.
his name, right? No, he's good. He's a good fighter. I saw some couple fights of Nate and in PFL.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was really good, tough fighter. But like I said, no surprise. I've been competing Bellator with high-profile opponents, since 2013. So, like I said, no surprise. It will be just another day of victory.
His most notable opponents are Chris Way, which I'm probably sure if you watch the PFL fights, probably sure hit that fight. Bryce Logan fought Rashad Magomedov, another good solid fighter in the PFL, and all of those guys solid to good grapplers. However, you have
Mm-hmm.
shown throughout your career your grappling is just higher than most people in this industry. What do you feel you bring in your grappling style that will be something he may have never encountered before and could be a big problem for him on fight night? What would you say separates you and your grappling level from many other pretty good grapplers in MMA?
Well, I think you're making the question, but I think you got the answer. He never faced something like me. He never faced a guy like me. It's just just another level
Mm.
of a ground game, not just in ground game, but I can bring a lot of bad moments on the feet, on the fences, on the mental aspect, because I respect him, but there's in this sport there's levels, and the levels that he's going to right now is totally different that he ever faced. So I hope in a good and healthy preparation. I'm expecting the best of Nate. I I hope he bring a good fight for me, and let's rock and roll, baby.
What were your thoughts on Michael Chandler leaving Bellator, making the jump to the UFC? Was it not maybe a big surprise for you? Were you maybe a little disappointed because you had hoped to get a rematch with him? Or were you kind of glad because he always has sort of kind of been like this magnet to the lightweight title and lightweight title opportunities. And now with him kind of out of the way, it finally opens the door to a lot more people like yourself to get title opportunities that he was kind of blocking for the last few years.
Well, good to him.
Mm.
Good to him. I'm not surprised. I think he deserved everything that he got in his life. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, little bummed out because I wanted to fight him again,
Mm.
but no rush. I'm a patient guy. I know we're going to run it back again someday. So he's not my focus now. Good to him. I wish Michael Chandler all the best to his the new part of his career right now in UFC.
Are you rooting for him on some level? Do you kind of want to see him go, do well, win the UFC title to prove the level of competition at Bellator? Because there's always those doubts from some fans that, oh, if you're not in the UFC, the talent level is not the same. Do you kind of, as like a Bellator guy, kind of root for him to be a former Bellator guy and kick ass in the UFC and show, look, we're just as good as them. Look what he just did.
Course. Actually, I don't really care about it. People that say that they don't understand about the level of the competition of
Yeah.
Bellator, especially the lightweight division. Lightweight division is a really really tough level of competition.
Yeah.
So people that say that they don't know about they're not watching the fights
Yeah.
clearly. I don't know what they're doing, but they're not watching because it's a really really high level of competition. So I'll be I hope Michael Chandler all the best in his new organization UFC. But who I think the best guy will win regardless
Yeah.
if he's from Bellator or UFC. I wish him the best, but we'll see. We'll see the reality.
Does that kind of stuff bother you? Because most people in the media get it. They understand the fighters. They understand what's good fighting and across all the promotions. But fans, kind of the power of the UFC, the marketing power they've had so long, they've kind of brainwashed some fans. That's why there's some fans that will say UFC instead of mixed martial arts and stuff like that. Does that kind of annoy you in a certain way? Like that there is that segment of fans that aren't wise to it, don't get it. Are you mad at maybe Bellator or other promotions? Like, does that annoy you in some ways that people don't understand? Like, just because you're not in the UFC doesn't mean you're just as good as people in the UFC.
Nah, it doesn't bother me at all. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's the competition, is the level of the competition, the high profile fighters that you're going to face, the paycheck at the end of the day. So it doesn't bother me at all. I think Eddie Alvarez, he was from Bellator and
Yep.
he proved that he could be
Yep.
a UFC champion. So there's UFC, of course. UFC is the first MMA show in the history. So yeah, that is why they got more. People know more about UFC than Bellator. But I think Bellator, we're getting our space, and people know about Bellator here in Brazil. If I would ask for somebody here a couple years ago, do you know Bellator? Do you watch Bellator? They would say no, I never heard about it. But today, yeah, they know about Bellator because there's a lot of high profile fighters going to Bellator right now
Yeah.
from UFC. So especially here from my city, so people they know Bellator. They know that we are is the same kind of competition. It's of course depends of the weight class you're competing, but most of them, you can see like guys like Patricio, very 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 high profile fighter. I I can see him beating all those featherweights in UFC. So we have good fighters here in Bellator, and I think I am one of them.
I agree with you on that. With
Thank you.
with a win, I think it is obvious you should be the number one contender to the lightweight title. Most of the people, any of the names, Patricky, they've lost or something like that. Now, however, Patricio Pitbull could very well be busy with this featherweight Grand Prix up until next summer if he beats Sanchez. That is. Now, the only other person in the division that maybe could make a case for a title fight would be Brent Primus. If you have
Exactly.
to fight again before a title fight, is you versus Primus the fight that needs to happen? I hope it does, because the grappling on the ground between you two would be sick. So what do you say? If you can't get the title fight next, is the Primus fight the only thing that really makes sense next?
I agree. 100%. I agree. Um, 6 months ago, after all this situation, I asked for two fights: Brent Primus or Ben Henderson. But Ben Henderson is coming from two losses, so it's not that interesting anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not, I respect Ben Henderson, but I think I think he competed in the welterweight division the last time. So
Yeah,
I
he
don't
did.
even know. I don't even know what his goals. I don't. Is it taking serious about the belt? I don't know. So I know Brent Primus. He take very serious. So he wants to run it back. He wants the belt back. So it's a fight that makes sense for me. But first, Nate the Snake. After we can talk about it.
Well, I mean, and I don't want to jump ahead, but I just love the idea of Primus and Yamauchi in a fight. Would you say, because I feel it is, if that fight were to happen, it is a battle of the two very best grapplers in Bellator?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I believe 100% in myself.
Yeah.
I think my grappling is way better than him.
Oh.
He knows that.
Oh. All right.
I'm Brazilian. Come on, I'm Brazilian.